Good morning, Las Vegas. It is Monique Buchanan, the host of the Welcome Home with Monique show. And of course, I have none other than Miss Rebecca Coins on with me this morning. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning, Mo.
It sounds funny calling you Rebecca.
I know. I was going to say it sounds so formal.
We're going to call you Becky. And of course, I've got none other than Mr. Anthony Valentino. Are you there, Tone?
Aloha, Mo. Aloha, Becky. How are you guys?
Aloha.
Aloha.
So you guys, if you don't know, he's calling us from what we call here in Las Vegas, the ninth island, which is Hawaii. And it's beautiful out there, isn't it, Tone?
It is always sunny and 7.
You're breaking up a little bit. So I always get on him because sometimes when he's driving by, he tells me, Monique, I'm driving by this waterfall. Every time I drive by the waterfall on the way to my house, I lose reception. I'm like, really, Anthony?
Make us haters. Make us haters.
Really? So we've got a great show for you guys. Listen, there's a lot going on. I'm sure you guys are well aware of, unfortunately, the government shutdown that's going on, amongst many other things that are happening, which also does affect, real estate as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, some ways to pivot and just what's going on in the market right now. Anthony, you want to kind of, in fact, let's just go ahead and start with that. Let's just start with the government shutdown. How does this affect our listeners out there, our potential buyers or our potential sellers, are having those water cooler conversations at work? So what do you have to say as a professional in this space? And you're seeing the numbers and you're seeing all the things. What do you say about it?
Okay, so here's the deal. The government has been shut down for 32 days now as of today. So what does that mean? That means that this will pass. Yes, it's making it burdensome for the United States to continue to, motion forward.
Right.
But we will come to a consensus, hopefully within the next week or so. So that way we can get back to business because the economy is looking better, and it's looking better every single day. We're locking in the 5s right now.
Yes.
6 months ago, we were in the upper 6s.
Yes.
And so it's looking good. What I tell people is you don't want to base your decisions of homeownership off of fear. Right. You want it to be based off of calculation. And that's where you, Monique, Becky, myself come in to dispel the fears and to empower our clients with confidence, education, and math, so that way they're making decisions based off of themselves and not based off of fear.
Absolutely. And, everybody always has that question of like, is it a good time to buy? And I'm like, listen, if you're buying a home to live in and not flip it, then yes, it's always a good time to buy, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're going to live in it and you're going to build generational wealth, and if you hold it for at least, 3 or 4 years, you're always going to walk away in most cases with way more than what you paid for it. And I know that's kind of like off topic, but they are asking me now that, with that, with everything that's going on in the world, government shutdown is a good time to buy. Well, do you still want to live indoors?
Right.
Or do you want to
still
continue
gotta have somewhere to live?
Because when you rent, that's the worst time or the worst scenario, because you're making absolutely nothing. And I know that's kind of off topic, but that is something, even with the government shutdown, people are nervous, right?
Yeah.
In fact, let's touch on your client right now. You have a veteran client that was worried about not seeing a paycheck in the middle of buying with Anthony.
Yeah, she's active duty. We're working her deal right now, and that was kind of one of her big fears was, what if I don't get paid? What
in
if
the
I
middle
miss
of buying?
Yeah, in the middle of this.
Yeah, just so you know, she's in escrow right now with Anthony and Becky. So she's in the process of purchasing. She found the home that she wants. Now she's nervous, and I'm sure there's some people listening to us today, Tone, as well. But you know what, Anthony? I like what Becky told her. She actually shared a story from her own son who just recently closed on his property with you, Anthony, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he's also in the service, active duty, right?
Yeah.
So share that story with the listeners. There may be somebody out there listening that needs to hear it.
Yeah. I mean, he's active duty, and he was a little nervous because we were going through the process, and he was like, what's going to happen here? Like, what if I don't get paid this week? What's the deal? Maybe I should pull back. Maybe I should not continue with this deal. And I kind of broke it down and told him, I said, at the end of the day, you will get your pay back. You are a government employee. You are active duty military. Even if this goes on a little bit, you're still going to get paid at some point.
Right.
So you should keep going forward, because at the end of the day, if you're in a rental and you can't make your rent payment, they can kick you out. I mean, they can do what they can do. But if you own your home, you have a mortgage, as soon as we close, that's it. It's your house.
Right.
That mortgage company will work with you. Even on day one, they understand there are protections in place for people who are in that situation. And like I said, and you're going to also skip that first mortgage payment. So that's going to give you the breathing room, because you may not have that paycheck. It may take them a month to get you paid.
Right.
You're not going to have that mortgage payment due.
That's a great point to make. That, listen, whenever you purchase a home, Anthony always skips 1 month of mortgage, sometimes 2. So like she said, so God forbid this continues on yet another month, at least you know, hey, I don't even have a payment. So if I close on this property, let's say December 1st, my first payment is not till February and possibly March. If you tell Anthony you need 2 months, he can do that as well. He can line it up to where you don't have your first payment till March. Isn't that right, Anthony?
That's right. Yeah. Typically we push it out. If you are closing, December 5th, you're not having a payment for December. You're not having a payment for January. Your first payment's not until, 3 months into it.
Yeah.
You until February. And the good news with mortgages is you have a 15-day grace period.
Yes, you do.
It's on time between the 1st and the 15th. So what I usually tell my clients is just make it auto pay biweekly on the 1st and on the 15th. So that way you don't get a big mortgage hit at the beginning of the month or the end of the month. And that way it spreads it out and it helps them, manage their bills. And so that's the beautiful thing about mortgages. You can't do that with rent. They want it, day 1, day 3, maybe some give you grace of day 5.
Right.
With mortgages, that's not the case.
Those late fees be piling up too.
Yes, but listen, you know what else is great about that system, Anthony? Splitting your mortgage up into 2 different payments per month actually saves you a ton of money in interest. You know what I mean?
It's called tripping the amortization schedule.
Yes.
So when you look at the amortization schedule, when you're making a payment ahead of time, you're tripping it. And you can take a 30-year mortgage and make it a 20-year just by, making 3 extra payments a year. You could shave off 10 years on your 30-year escrow,
right?
Which is amazing. That saves so much money on interest.
Yes, and if you don't want to make the 3 payments, you can do what Anthony's saying is just simply, if your mortgage is $1,500, $750 on the 1st, $750 on the 14th. You know what I mean? And now that also shaves off years off of your mortgage because you're saving so much in interest. So, but the point of the matter is exactly like you said, ma'am, not only when you're a veteran, but especially as a veteran right now that wants to purchase, right now you have those safety nets in place. Whereas if you're renting right now, there are no safety nets in place. You have to pay your rent. Banks do not want your property after you own that property. They don't want it. They're going to work with you. So that put the lady at ease. That put our client at ease, right? She was...
Yeah, after talking to her, and I also explained to her, we just went through the same thing with my son. Like, I'm not telling you something I didn't tell my own child. Mm-hmm. So,
we're never doing that.
She definitely felt much, much better.
Right. And so she's going to move forward with her purchase. And after she closes on that home, she'll be safe in her home.
Yep, absolutely.
Right, Anthony? So that's a great point that Becky made. I was happy that you shared that 100%.
with her. You have more options, right? Because like when you rent, you don't have any options. They can tell you if you can't pay, you're out.
Yeah, 5-day pay or quit.
With mortgage, you have those deferments, you have those forbearance, you have those options. And more importantly, if this drags on, God forbid, for months, then that's when there'll be appropriations from the government mandating these private sector companies to say, hey, you have to give reprieve here. You have to give some help. And so that's what you get with home ownership rather than just renting.
Right, because those mandates do not apply to renters, is my understanding.
That's correct.
See, guys, that's what I'm saying. There's so much security in owning versus renting. There's just so much security in owning versus renting. So right now we're looking at the 5s. Here, let's shine some light. Let's try to jump on the happy train. But honestly, my heart goes out to everybody that's going through this. And, I want to try to give some resources where they can find some, even food, you know what I mean? But anyways, with the rates right now are temporarily down because of this shutdown. So you're telling me now that we're in the 5s if they do the buy down, which we do, we put all of our clients in the buy down for the most part because we go after the money. We go after the closing costs. When we're representing our buyers, we're going after the closing costs because, guys, that's the market we're in. When I'm representing my sellers, I'm over there like with a shield, like a Roman soldier blocking the request for closing costs and teaching the other agent how to roll that into your client's loan. But that's what we do. We pivot, right? But right now, closing costs, we can take those funds and do what's called the 3-1 buy down. You guys have heard us talk about it many times. Well, guess what? Right now, because the rates are organically in the 5s, Anthony has just informed me that with that buy down, you can get your rate all the way into the 3s. What does that mean for you? In other words, let's make this easy to understand. Anthony, if my mortgage is $2,500 at my current rate of 5.75 when you sell me a house, right? Then you do the 3-1 buy down around, of course, it doesn't have to be exact, but around how much does that save me per month for year 1 at 3%?
So say, for instance, you lock right now at 5.75, and then you got Mo or you got Becky that's going to be able to get you that 2-1 buy down to bring it to 3.75 for the first year, 4.75 the second year, and then 5.75 year 3 through 30. So make no mistake, this is a fixed rate at 5.75. But rather than dropping the interest rate maybe 0.25% for the full 30 years, where you're saving like $50 a month, it pushes all of the savings into the front of the loan.
Right.
So when you drop that rate to 3.75, you're saving on an average $400,000 loan amount, $521 a month per month, $521 for the first year. And then the second year, you save almost $300 a month. And then after year 2, year 3 through 30 is that fixed at 5.7. But we know in the next 3 years, the chances of refinancing are going to be so high. And so you're going to be able to take advantage of buying a house now with the rates that we're going to see in 2 years.
Right. So basically, like what he was saying is you're going to save $500 off your mortgage out the gate. When me and Becky negotiate those closing costs from the seller, we turn around, give those closing costs to Anthony. Anthony then puts those closing costs towards your first year. Instead of your payment being $2,500, let's say, it will be $2,000. And then year 2, instead of it being $2,500, it will be $2,300 or $2,200, right? So
22, yep.
$2,200. So then let's say that we actually do make it to year 3. What would that payment be? $2,100, or $2,000? Or no, I'm going the wrong way. I'm going the wrong way. 20. What would it be, Anthony? Help me out. I've gotten lost.
You did perfect. So, I mean, just to give you an example, for $400,000 for the principal, the interest, the taxes, insurance, you're seeing about $1,900 for year 1.
There we go.
You're seeing about $2,150 for year 2, and you're seeing around $2,480 a month for year 3 through 30. So you were spot on. You were right there.
Okay. And now, Anthony, I want to clarify for people that are listening too. This is a fixed for the entire 30 years. So after those 2 years that you're getting that reprieve, if nothing else happens and you can't refi, they know out the gate what their max payment is going to be for the remainder of their loan. That does not change.
It's not an ARM. This is not an ARM, people. We are not doing ARMs.
That is correct. Yeah, okay. No, there's no surprises. You are going to know what your payment is because this is a 30-year fixed, but it is incentivized, or the rate is reduced for the first 2 years. But it's still, we're locking right now FHAs with over 620 FICO, 3.5% down, debt to income ratio under 57%. They're seeing right now, it was 5.7 on Monday, but because of the Fed meeting yesterday, it's now up to 5.9. So it's not as pretty, but we're still in the 5s.
That's awesome, which means we can be in the 3s when we get that $15,000 in closing costs for you.
That's right.
But that's what we're doing, guys. So that's what we're saying. If you're with somebody, listen, I want you to know, I hope and pray you guys would, consider using me and Becky to represent you in your home purchase or sell. But even if you don't, for some odd reason, right? I hope you know that we are in a buyer's market, which means you have the ability to ask for closing costs, and you should be asking for closing costs. Now, obviously, if you're looking at a property that's only $300,000 and it happens to actually be a house, there's probably going to be multiple people going after that. Likelihood of getting closing costs, you still have some likelihood, but it may be a little bit less than if you're looking at a $400,000 or $500,000 house where you don't have multiple people trying to buy that property. Yeah. You better make sure you're asking for closing costs right now, or else you're cheating yourself out of thousands of dollars. Hear my words.
That's right.
Am I lying, Anthony? I try not to.
And you're one of the few realtors that you guys are not afraid to roll up your sleeves, and you do your homework. When you roll up to a house, you're looking at the comparables. You're looking at the comps. How long those houses have been sitting, what the inventory is, what that, you ask the questions from the seller. Hey, do you have any offers? What are they motivated? These are the questions that your realtors need to ask, not just open doors, but open opportunities for the buyer to really take advantage of this market. It's all about opportunity. When the government shut down, that is a big neon sign that says opportunity, and it's flashing, and people need to take advantage of it.
Yes. But they don't understand how that works. Like, what is the saying? When it's a down market, who is it? That said that's when you buy.
Yeah.
When everybody else is, Warren Buffett. When everybody's sitting on the sidelines and they're not jumping in, that's when you do jump in. Mm-hmm. And that's when you do buy.
My favorite quotes from him are these: when everyone says not to buy, that's when you buy. And when everyone buys, that's when you don't. And the other one is, rich people use their own money. Really, really rich people use others, AKA you leverage debt for revenue streams. And that's what a physical asset, that's what real estate does for people. It creates revenue streams. You're paying down that principal. You're paying yourself. You are earning equity. There's only been 2 times since 1932 that houses have not gone up. So that is historically facts where you're going to see appreciation. And then the tax incentives alone are something that our listeners probably don't even know, that when you buy a house, you can write off the cost of that house. Yeah. You can write off the maintenance, the insurance, the interest, the taxes. You're going to have a fat check in February because now you have an asset that is a tax umbrella for you. So there's so much good stuff when it comes to home ownership.
I like how you said, for me, I just bought that investment property. Now I've probably dumped, I don't know, close to 50 or 60 with the down payment and all the fixing and all that, right? But what that does for me is when tax season rolls around, which is in just a couple of months, I get to write all that off of what I've made for the year. So that's huge. And you told me, hey, Monique, get ready, because we're in the months where I start sending you all my investor clients, because what they're doing is these people are looking for investment properties because they've just been told that, hey, if you don't find some property, or like you said, if you don't find some debt here, you're going to be hit with $100,000 tax bill next year. Yeah. So you always tell me, Mo, strap in, you and Becky get ready, because everybody's buying investment property. So a lot of people think it's just cars. You'll go see people that'll wait till the end of the year and they'll go buy a $100,000 truck that's over 6,000 pounds because they know that they can write that off for their business. Mm-hmm. Well, you could do the same, but purchase a home, which when you drive off the lot in that truck, you're losing money. But when you buy that property and that investment,
you're making money.
You're making money, and you have way more tax incentives throughout the year besides that truck. That truck is just a payment. That's it. Am I right, Anthony?
Yeah, I mean, so I want everyone who's listening right now to turn that dial up. I'm about to drop
the nuggets. We need the nuggets.
I'm about to drop some cheat codes for my
please give it to our listeners.
Born in the 80s.
Oh, the 80s, only the 80s.
The Contra
I'm 70s myself.
Nintendo
there.
Game.
By the way, I'm 70s.
So I'm going to give the cheat code. I'm going to give the cheat code for the Infinity Men, the up, down, left, right, A, B.
I remember those days.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So here's the cheat code right now. You ready? Turn it up. Debt equals income, and income equals debt. The more income you create, the more debt you make through taxes. The more debt that you create, the more income shelters you create. So, just like you said, when we get a big bump of investors in October, why is that? It's because they understand the game. They understand that if they're making $100,000 in income, they need to find $100,000 in debt to wipe away the liability. So in October, for the smart ones who call their CPAs and go, hey, how am I looking for this year? They're going to go, well, you made more than what you thought. You're either going to write a check to Uncle Sam for $50,000, or you can put $50,000 down on a house and create a debt position and pay yourself. And so that's why in October we got a lot of investors buying $6,000 cars, 6,000 pound cars, or investment homes because they're trying to find debt to offset the income that they made in that year. That is the secret. And you don't have to be a millionaire to do that. You know, you can look at how much you make, and if you're going to pay 10, 15, 20,000 in taxes, you might as well buy a condo and put 20,000 down. And then when it comes time to tax season, you don't have to pay it because you have depreciation, you have cost segregation, you have write-offs. Now you're not paying Uncle Sam, you're paying yourself. That is a life hack right there.
That's a huge life hack.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because a lot of people are unaware of that, you know. And so, like you said, you can start building your generational wealth, but at the same time, save yourself some money, quite a bit of money.
Things we should have learned long ago.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So if you're just tuning in, I haven't even said this the whole show, 702-984-3700. Don't worry, I do say it at the end of the show as well, but you can reach us at 702-984-3700. And we can go ahead and answer some questions for you. If you're thinking about selling a property, buying a property, we are here to assist, okay? And we're never going to guide you down a road that we wouldn't take ourselves, okay? So also, you can check out my website at welcomehomewithmonique.com. IG, my handle is at Realtor Monique Buchanan. Hey, Anthony, I want to thank you, brother, for coming on and enlightening my wonderful listeners about hopefully a couple things they may not have known that can bless their lives. So we always appreciate you coming on, Tone.
You got it, Mo. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you, brother. Talk soon. Okay, guys, so let's wrap the show up with a couple of my new listings.
Love it.
Yeah, you guys have heard me talk about them, but they're actually live now, so you can check them out for sure in person. Becky is always happy to pop on over there and show you the property. So the first one is 3806 Internet Avenue. You guys have heard me talk about this single-story property. It has the pool. It has fruit trees. We're talking lemon trees, pomegranate trees, lime trees. It is sitting on a 1/4 acre, which is hard to find in Vegas, right? And not just any old RV parking. It has the extended RV parking and the RV parking hookups, right? 3-car garage. It's a single story, and it is a 4-bedroom with 4 baths. You heard me right. 3 of the bedrooms have their own private bath. So it's like junior suites, the master, or should I say primary, and then the 2 besides that have their own full baths, right? And then you have the half bath for the guest. Double oven, upgraded appliances. So anyways, 3806 Internet Avenue. Okay, and so I'm so excited to announce that we are live. We are live. You can see the actual pictures now of inside the home. All of that is right online. You can check that out. The address is 916 Cary Grove. 916, and that's Carey Grove, North Las Vegas, 89030. That is my corner lot, you guys. Oversized corner lot, sitting at about 6,500 square feet. The home itself is 2222 square feet, 4 bedrooms, right? 3 full baths, full. So each one of them has a shower or a tub, okay? Also does have a bedroom downstairs. That's also a thing to have because you never know when you can't do those stairs anymore.
Yep, that's
and
a big
if
one.
you have a guest or you have a parent or somebody that needs to move in, corner lot, like I said, the solar is going to be completely paid off at closing. Living in the desert with free power, basically. I mean, your solar is paid off. So that address is 916 Cary Grove Avenue, North Las Vegas, 89030. It's hard to find these corner lots like this, and it's only had 1 owner.
That's not common either.
No, that's what I'm saying. That property is very uncommon. So once again, you guys, 916 Cary Grove Avenue, North Las Vegas. And I'm not sure if I mentioned the internet property is also a 4-bedroom, and each one of those bedrooms, except for one, has its own full bath as well. But and it also has a pool. I don't think I mentioned that in the backyard, right under those fruit trees. But yeah, so 916 Cary Grove, it has went live this weekend. So, agents out there, you can go ahead and start showing that one. They're both 4 bedrooms, and the other one is 3806 Internet Avenue. Both are live, so you can go see them. There will be an open house. When is it, Becky? Monday, right?
The first one is Monday from 1 to 3.
Okay, perfect. And then we do have another one Saturday, the 8th. So not today, but next Saturday, it will be from 1 to 3.
12 to 4.
It will be from 12 to 4. Are you sure?
Yes, 1 to 3 on Monday, 12 to 4 on Saturday.
What would I do without you?
I don't know.
I know.
Good thing we don't have to figure that out.
No, let's not do that. 20 years strong, we'll keep going.
That's right.
All right, guys. So we appreciate you guys listening to the show. I want to give a couple shots out to my clients out there. I had a couple call me and say, Mo, we listen to you all the time. And, we feel like we could trust you. I said, ooh, I hope you can trust me. I said, I'm not going to tell you anything I wouldn't do. And I'm definitely not going to block my blessing.
That's right.
So I appreciate all of you guys out there that do trust us in helping you with, selling your property or purchasing. We do appreciate that. And until we hear from you.